Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Craig at Hiking Pipes. And today I'm just going to do a little bit of a fun test on something. Being that most of us pipe smokers have been relegated to the outside, and we need to sit outside, and we usually enjoy a nice warm drink with our pipe. I decided that I'm going to kind of do a test on some vacuum type of containers that we typically use and see which one kind of does the best for us. So with that, I'm going to switch this around and we're going to take a look at what I'm going to do here. So here I have a Hydroflask, a Yeti, and a Bubba, tumbler. And they are different sizes, and I grant that. This is not going to be super scientific. It's just going to be, basic utilization on what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I have a kettle of boiling water here. And you can see the lid is popping up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pre-warming of each and every one of these. So I'm going to fill her up. Excuse me, doing this multi-hand to their fill lines. I'm going to set the timer going right here. I'm just going to gently put the caps on each one of these. And I'm going to let them sit for the timer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the camera, pause it off, and I'm going to get some hot water going here so we can actually do the test. So this is just the pre-warming. And like I said, we'll let them sit as far as the timer goes here. And, also disclosure, the Hydroflask here is a 12-ounce. The Yeti is a 14-ounce container, and the Bubba is a 16-ounce. So again, you could see the dimensions are different, but again, this is just real-world use for us here. I'll be clocking things at the initial temperature take: 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours. I'll be using my vanishing point fountain pen to do all the logging here. So like I said, I'm going to put this on pause and get some water going, and we'll start the actual test. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. I did empty the water out very quickly in each one of these, so I'm going to take their caps off respectively. And you can see we got a pot of boiling water here, so again, we're going to do a fill. First the Hydroflask, the Yeti, and the Bubba. Okay, I'm going to get these caps back on. The Hydroflask just pushes down, as does the Yeti. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold this camera here. I'm going to keep the lids closed. And the Bubba is a screw-on. Let's get that down all the way. Okay. Make sure that's on there tight. There we go. Okay. Now, these had sat for 5 minutes with the hot water in it while I waited for the kettle to boil up again. And we'll take an initial test of temperature. So, whoops. Very difficult to do this. let's see, let's get down here. And we're at 100 and, let's see, and it's going up. Up. We're going to call it 205 in the Hydroflask. In the Yeti, we'll call her 202. And in the Bubba, we're going to call it 207. So 205, 202, and 207. So down here, with the initial, we got 205. Yeti was 202. And the Bubba was 207. Okay. We are going to start the timer for 1 hour. Let me reset my, there we go. And, okay, we're going to let her run for 1 hour. 30 minutes. I apologize. So, we'll come back and see where we are in 30 minutes. So, stay tuned. Hey, so we're back. Had a little bit of a recording issue that I detected very quickly, so I'm going to redo our half-hour test, even though it's probably closer to 35 minutes at this point. So I'm going to switch her around, and we're going to record exactly what the temperatures are after about 35 minutes. So hold on, and we'll flip her around, and here we'll go again. So again, we've got the Hydroflask here. We're going to turn our thermometer on. Dip her in. And let's see what we get here. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. So I'm going to call it 180. Okay. So let's do that. Close that back up. Sorry for the camera movement. For the Yeti, and again, as it makes its way up, okay, I tend to round up, so I'm going to call this 178. Close that back up. And for our Bubba here, get this guy in. And we'll get a read on this. Okay, I'm going to call it 188. So, with that, we are going to, again, get our little clock going here, and we'll come back in about another well, let's having difficult doing two things at once here. So we're going to come back in about another half an hour-ish or so and see where we're at. Let me get that closed up. So anyway, you can see I'm logging the numbers here. I initially had done a boneheaded maneuver, and I had it set up at Celsius, but all the overwriting I did was the latest results. So again, we'll stay tuned, and we'll be back in another half an hour or so. Stay tuned. Thanks again. Okay, so we're back. It's been about an hour. I'm going to flip this around, and you can see this, excuse me, this little sub-dial here on the watch is down around 30 minutes. So that's how I've been clocking every half hour as I've been resetting. So with that, going to wait about another few seconds here. Yeah, I think that's good for NASA standards. Gonna stop the timer. Gonna reset that dial, and we'll take our next reading. So, again, the Hydroflask. We're gonna drop this guy in, and we'll see where we get to. So we wait for it to come up and normalize. All right, I'm going to call that 160. Yes. Did I read that right? No, I didn't. You know, sometimes when you're doing things through the camera, it's very difficult. Quite a glare there. 166, I'm going to call that. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so with that, 166. And moving over to our Yeti. Get the glare off there. Again, we'll give that a little bit to get normal. We're going to call that 164. Get that guy closed. And then over to Mr. Bubba. Again, we will we're going to call that 177. Okay, so there we have that. So that's our 1 hour time interval. So we will again get the counter going, and we'll be back again in another half hour. So again, please stay tuned and come back soon. Thank you. Hey, so we're back again, and another half hour has passed. We're at the 1.5 hour mark, so we'll take our next set of readings for our thermal test. So again, I'll flip the camera around and we'll get to it. So, as you can see, another half hour done. We'll stop our watch. do that reset, and we'll take our temperature test here. So with the Hydroflask, excuse me, let's get the thermometer on here. Okay, and in we go. I think we'll call her at we'll call it 154. So jot that one down. For our Yeti, we'll call that 153. Get that closed up. And for the Bubba, I say 168 will be a call. Okay. And we'll get that one dropped down. And, okay, so we will start our timer, and we'll come back in another half hour. Catch you soon. Okay, so we're back after the final half hour at the 2-hour mark. So we'll do our 2-hour readings and see what we have here. So again, move the camera, flip it around. You can see we had another half hour go by, so we will stop the watch and we will take our temperature. So again, the Hydroflask, after 2 hours, they come up. We'll call it 145. Okay. We'll move our way over to the Yeti. Get my finger out of the way. And, well, let's see. Give it a good chance. All right, we'll just call it 143.5. Okay, and we will move now to the Bubba. Excuse me. All right, we'll call that 160.5 as well. So I've got all the data logged over here on this sheet, this little post-it note here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take another pause. I'm just going to neaten up my chicken scratch, and we'll give some final data and some final thoughts on these three tumblers or mugs, whatever you'd like to call them. So stay tuned for the conclusion. Okay, so I'm back with final conclusions and some data. So getting into here, you can see that the Hydroflask and the Yeti really perform very, very similarly based upon the initial temperature readings and then how they declined over time and what the final tally was. And just based upon the percentage of drop, you can see at the end of the day, they each dropped, very close to 60 degrees, and they experienced about a 29 to 30% that's reduction in temperature retention. The Bubba did perform considerably better, only experiencing about a 46.5 degree drop, with a 22% overall drop. And I guess that's to be expected with the geometry of the units. Just a couple of miscellaneous things. The cost of the Hydroflask was $26 US. The Yeti was $30, and the Bubba was $18. Each one was made in China. The only differentiation is Yeti has an indication that it was actually designed in the USA, specifically Texas. I did some leak checking on it with the caps closed, and the Hydroflask dripped the most. The Yeti had a very, very minor drip when turned upside down, and the Bubba was completely leak-proof. I shook it, and it didn't move. So just to talk a little bit more about each one, the pros and the cons. So they're all really well made. The Hydroflask, to be honest, I like the feel of it. It has an exterior coating on it that is kind of, I guess, a rubberized. I'm not sure exactly what the coating is, but it's a very comfortable coating. It's not all metal, so in the cold weather, you don't have metal, direct metal contact. Like that very, very much. The cap on the Hydroflask, it works. It's closes securely. It seals very tightly, as I'm having a difficult time trying to pry it off. Not as quite as heavy duty as the Yeti. The Yeti has a really, really tough finish to it. It's a powder coating. I like the lid very much better than the Hydroflask for two reasons. One is it leaks a little bit less, and two, you can see the amount of fluid, liquid that you have inside without having to remove the lid. So that's really nice. Very durable feeling. The Yeti, yes, bigger size. It has a slightly larger handle to grip with. Hydroflask comes in a 24-ounce size, but that's a little too big, and it was a little too awkward, a container. That's why I didn't pick it up initially. The Bubba, this is really a travel tumbler. I would use it mostly for a travel tumbler. It would fit inside a car cup holder where the other two do not. The flip top, made of rubber, very, very secure. Has a good sippy area. So
I would say, yeah, you could use this certainly as an everyday drinker, sitting on the porch or what have you, out and about. But I would probably reserve this one for more or less, car travel. So, but again, there's no reason why that any of these could not be used as a casual outside mug, sitting out on a porch on a cold day, doing whatever activity that you prefer to do. So I hope this was helpful. If there's any questions, please post them in the bucket below there. And again, I thank you for watching. This was Craig, Hiking Pipes, and we'll talk to you again very soon. And until then, please be safe, be happy, be healthy, and be good to one another. Take care for now.